What's up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Quest-darake no my life. Let's play, I think it's called. This time with episode 4, I think it is. Not sure about that. Yeah, it is episode 4. It was a decent episode last week. I do think probably the first episode still been my favourite so far, to be honest with you. The side characters especially haven't been done awfully well, although I did quite like the little girl that spoke through the phone last episode. I thought she was quite nice. We had that little pizza party where we went and played a load of games at the arcade, which was pretty cool. Seeing how feared they are. The fearsome gamers. Other than that though, there wasn't too much going on. Again, except for that kind of dialogue at the end with the main character and little teddy bear girl. And this reveal here, of course. Oh, we're just gonna end that. just gonna leave after that bombshell. Not even gonna wait to hear him speak. Well, I really hope, like, this might sound dodgy to some people, but I really hope he doesn't take his review back. I think that's the worst thing he can do. Because if he now is just like, oh, now I've got to live next to her, and now I know her, I have to change it. That's probably how I'd feel. I'd feel a bit like guilty, but like, oh shit. But you should have felt guilty initially. Should have thought about it initially before posting it, how it would affect someone. Not just when you're presented with the outcome of doing it. So if he takes it back, that would be the worst thing he could do, in my opinion. I'm not sure how he could make up for it. Maybe promote a next game, or maybe just give that game a fair try in the way it's meant to be played. Perhaps I'm not sure, but yeah, like, you get those people in real life, don't you? Like, ugh, you're disgusting when you say something and then totally do the opposite, especially in regards to something like this. Like, you hated that. You gave that all that shit. And just because you're confronted with the consequences, of which the consequences isn't even much, you take it back. He hasn't done that yet. But honestly, I can imagine him doing that. I really can. I mean, it has it right there in the title. A puzzle adventure game. How hard is that to understand? I say this a lot, but honestly, how can you why are these guys able to review this? This is why Xbox has a good system for this. I'm not sure how it is on Steam. I've never really had like a gaming PC or anything, but you need to buy the game to review the game. If you haven't bought the game, or I'd say even played a certain amount of hours, if you haven't played a certain amount of hours on the actual game, you shouldn't be allowed to review it. Like, do you know what? I do watch gamers and I watch playthroughs. I've never rated a game or anything based on watching someone else's playthrough. I think an example of me preferring a playthrough experience is Silent Hill 4. I played that game years ago and I hated it. The story was good and the characters were interesting, and the room segments were like, it was all really interesting. It had a lot of promise. PT was a kind of realization of that promise, honestly, although that never came out, which sucked. But I like the idea of playing Silent Hill 4. I like the idea of it. There's really cool concepts, but actually playing it is just annoying as fuck. So if I ever go to replay that game, I don't replay it. I just watch other people play it, so I don't have to fucking deal with it. And I think that's my only kind of compromise on that. But still, even then, you can't just watch someone else play it and review it. Like, no. That should not be allowed. So 0.3. I'm not sure if that's an upgrade or not. It might have been at 0.1 before. Unforgivable. To be honest, this kind of reminds me of what's going on right now with One Punch Man. Follows you. He still follows him? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, I said it feel terrible earlier now. Reading all this. Oh god. That should make it feel terrible. That's also the case of if he did know her before he even played it and then positive reviewed it, was it maybe? If he did positively review it just because he knew her, that would also not be right in my opinion. Like if he hated it, just like it's such a hard thing to comment on because yeah, he obviously didn't like it, yet he was wrong about it. And I think you can play games as they're not intended. I bring up the Resident Evil games. You can play them as like non-survival horrors. If you go on like the easiest mode, there's usually like more ammo and you can kill everything. You can play it in its non-intended way and still have fun. Some people don't like the fact that you can't do certain things and you've got to avoid things. So I get his perspective a little bit as well, but in this case, it's just not warranted. Just like you did actually just not open your mind. It's the apology video. I've never thought I'd hear that in anime. Our greatest fear is those haters. True. Even I mean that's true for me. I think that's true for everyone. I do kind of get like it's never happened much, but I don't. No one likes being told they're wrong, do they? I say it's never happened much. So I don't really put myself out in too many situations for that to kind of happen. But when I do, and it does happen, it's like it does like something. You feel something bubble up in you. It's like this guy tells me I'm wrong. All the things this guy's done wrong, and he's telling me I'm wrong. It's kind of like that feeling. And online, just the more you're acclimatized to being online, the worse it is. It's like you're acclimatized to seeing all these horrible people, and it's always these like anonymous accounts that get no repercussions for it or anything. And it's I just literally 10 minutes ago read a quote by Mike Tyson. He was talking about it years ago, saying people are way too okay with commenting and disturbing people and calling out people and abusing them when in real life they just absolutely wouldn't, and they'd get punched for it. And yeah, it's just I've always been interested in like identity online. Sorry to go off topic here for a minute, but in the UK they recently just released this thing where you have to upload your government ID or something if you want to watch things like over 18. I haven't done it because I don't really want. I'm not really sure about it. I haven't read up on it too much, and just in case I don't want them like tracking me or giving them information or anything. They probably have loads anyway, but I'm not going to upload my thing on there. But I kind of like the idea of actually holding people accountable for their online actions. To what extent, I'm not really sure because it is a slippery slope. Where, as I just said, things like tracking and like yeah, I don't. It's weird because I want people to be held accountable, but I don't want everyone to be like that closely like track. Like it's a really tough one to be honest with you, because it is quite disturbing what some people do put others through here online, isn't it? Oh, I messed up the timer. My bad. But yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's a really tough one to figure out. To be honest. I wouldn't want to be the person that sorts that kind of stuff because there's a massive amount of backlash with that government stuff, to be honest. Netizens. But yeah, this girl knows her trade. I'm not saying she's like an Only Foot Girls fan or anything, uh, but those type of women, they know how to run the internet. They know how to fucking promote themselves and the rules and what people want and what people reply to. Like, they're really fucking good at that kind of stuff. So again, I'm not saying she's in that line of business, but she seems very street smart in a similar way. So it probably is. Probably she's probably right. But yeah. If I was in this position, I'd want to do something. Can you stop calling him baby? I said it in English really just sticks out. And like, I've only ever heard that in maybe like JoJo's or something where it's like baby. Takes me back to that. No, it's not in a sexy or cuddly kind of cute way at all. This is how I hear it. So she was there at 500 subscribers. But yeah. So it's quite incredible this dog can like fully understand her. That dog actually hears human language. But that's not okay. That's not what you should be apologizing. Like, why are you apologizing? Are you actually sorry? Because the experience you had, you didn't enjoy it. You were being true to yourself by reviewing it like that. Yes, you were an idiot and you were wrong and you're playing it incorrectly. But at that point, you were true to yourself. So I'm not really sure what he's apologizing for. And like this, like if I heard, oh, sorry, I didn't know who you were before I reviewed it, I'd be even more pissed off. Even more pissed off. Why should you just review it's good just because of me? Just because it's me if you thought it's like, and just because she's a fan. Like, I don't know. I don't think there was any winning, to be honest. Like, I'm nitpicking his thing here. I don't think there's any winning. Whatever he decided to do, whether he was to do nothing, which might have been the best thing to do in my opinion, whether he was to do nothing, whether to apologise, whether it was to give reasons like this, I don't think there was any way he'd come out of this unscathed anyway, to be honest. So yeah, I don't think there was any winning anyway here. So yeah. I think the worst thing he could have said is, it was just a prank. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that filters out a lot of those idiots that just reviewed it without playing it. Is that Hush Money? It is! Ah, he gave her his profits. Yeah. So there's a streamer I watch that every now and then that does one stream a week, and he averages about 5,000, 6,000 viewers in that, and he makes, I think it's like 50 grand per stream. It's quite incredible. Yeah, we're not taking your fucking money. What are you trying to do here? Not true. Not true. Not true. Not true. Sorry, not true at all. Not true. Have you guys? I mean, I'm not one of those people that say current games are awful. There's loads of great games coming out. I mean, the amount of Game of the Year's nominations for this year is an insane amount. Um, and I would say in general, game quality has dipped, but it's not dipped to an extreme degree. But you look back at the PS1, PS2 era, that was incredible when you think about it. And I think it was so incredible. I bring up Silent Hill again because of the limitations. The limitations actually made the games better because you had to come up with more ingenious ways of getting around things. The fog in Silent Hill was used to cover up assets, to not have to load assets in the background, and to not use up as much kind of storage and such. I think anyway. So they got creative and said, you know what, fog, we'll fog it out. It takes up less like data and such, and it adds a really cool atmosphere. And that'd be an example of, would they have done that if there wasn't limit, if it was limitless, what they could do was limitless at that time? Would they have done that? Probably not. You can say that about loads of games. Like the limitations back then is why even till today the PS1, PS2 era games still stand up as actually kind of great games. I've played loads. To be honest, I'm kind of playing loads of old school kind of games currently, and they hold up. Not just because like the graphics obviously are much better nowadays, but like the gameplay and like the like Okami, for example, that's just like a timeless game in my opinion. I love that because that art style, similar to Borderlands. A bit of a shame what happened with the director of the Borderlands series, to be honest, but yeah, that series as well. Like the art styles in those are a product of the limitations, yet they're timeless in how awesome they do look and that style. So I do not agree with it, what this guy's saying whatsoever. It does not take a lot of money to make a great game. You see a lot of indie games as well. There's loads of brilliant indie games coming out and getting massive and being hugely successful. Fucking chuck this guy money out. Getting this shit out. This guy, I said he couldn't win it, but he's not doing an awful good job of even trying to win here, to be honest, is he? This is egregious. Yeah, fuck you. And also, another thing, who the hell gets paid for streaming by check? Oh shit, yeah, you tell him. You tell him. Exactly. This apology was for him, right here. Like, it's a shame because exactly that. This apology was for him to make him feel better, to take the weight off his conscience is what that apology was for. It wasn't actually to sincerely feel for her. I feel like anyway. That check was the physical expression of that weight that's on his conscience being given to her. Oh, now he's got cash. What's wrong with this guy? Also, that's a lot of money. That's a hell of a lot of money. How did that get under the door? Oh, let's go. I'm not sure which one that is. Vegeta, maybe. Probably not. No, it's not Vegeta, is it? I don't know who that is. I've never watched Dragon Ball. I've seen like 10 episodes of Gintama parodying Dragon Ball, and that's about it. Yeah, how did all that money get under the door? That was a thick stack. You fucking tell him. Fucking tell him. Rat bag. How's that guy? He's a fucking ambulance driver? Like extreme? Extreme job? I remember meeting a woman once. She wasn't an ambulance driver, but she was like a nurse, and she might be the most depressed person I ever met. Me and my friend were just looking for a cigarette, and she was smoking it outside the library. She just vented so much to us. We were like 14. Gave us a cigarette and just like vented to us, and I was like, oh my god. Sounds like the hardest thing ever. She wasn't just smoking normal cigarettes, but amplifier. She was smoking extra long cigarettes. Yeah. You need to kill this man. You need to kill this famous streamer for us, I think. Send him to the ambulance. Why are you such a prune? quite upfront. I mean, it's not having an attraction to either women or men, doesn't it? Right? And anything in between. What is this scene? Little princess. What are these like random moments of English? I like that one. Yeah, true. I feel the same way. If I was to have a daughter, honestly, I'd be, as a guy, I would be a bit more afraid of having a daughter than a son, especially in that regard. I can't lie. I'd accept this man as a husband. Doesn't mean I'll ever like him or any man that approaches you. It's kind of a weird thing. And there is that stereotype, isn't there, of dads being extremely hard to impress, and yeah. Although I think something that has loosened me up on that regard. I watched a movie called The Virgin S-Ides the other day. It was really interesting. I was like, damn, yeah, you know what? I do kind of think like that towards women. Or I used to, at least. I think it's much more than that, isn't it? Bloody hell. She really is the light. Ugh, some kind of mashed potato. Never been a fan of mashed potato. Never been a fan. Pretty much prefer any other type of potato. Is it me or does she look a lot like Velma? Mr. Jones. No thanks. How's this gonna help? Getting harassed by the fucking boss. Like the opposite of a date. Fencing. Fucking hell. You fancy. How does one get into fencing? don't know about you guys, but I've never heard of like a fencing club being advertised or anything. I imagine it's an extremely niche thing, quite hard to get into unless you look deep. It's kind of like when I remember looking for Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and I had to drive. Well, my parents had to drive me quite far to get to one. Went there with my hero deck. It was all. It was pretty much just trying to get out Rainbow Neos as fast and as quick as possible. Which wasn't a great card. I mean, it was a good card, but it wasn't like a great card to just keep playing over and over again. It wasn't like a proper boss monster that like protected itself or anything. But I just pulled it. I was just like, that's the coolest fucking card I've ever pulled. So I'm playing my whole deck to get this thing out. Oh, definitely. As it comes from a place of love, though, doesn't it? Yeah. I've had a similar experience, which is a good thing, I think. Who's that? Wit? Do we know this person, do you reckon? Do you think it's going to be the streamer? I think it's going to be the streamer, isn't it? The Sword Master. I don't know. Something just gives off that kind of vibe. As we cut straight to him. So this guy works here part-time. Like, this guy's got a hell of a fucking life, hasn't he, this Link? Works as an ambulance driver full-time. Part-time working at a cafe. Get him! Get him! Get him! Smoke him! Get him! Stop on about! Get him! Lock the doors. Get this motherfucker. Get him. Where'd you come from? I was really hoping to see him get beat up. I don't think he'd press charges, would he? Yeah, you're not welcome here, bro. What was that? What was that visual? Oh god, that was proper meme material right there. I don't know about you guys. I mean, it's an anime, but obviously that can't happen in real life. Obviously, but if that did happen in real life and that happened to one of my friends, we'd be taking the piss out of him forever. Fucking cowardly lying behind him like that. Sorry guys. Yeah, that was quite the visual right there. That was just cringe, to be honest with you. Jesus Christ. Bloody hell. But they didn't need to do that. This would actually been a bit of a cold moment from the guy, to be honest, if they didn't have that. Oh god. Well, this has been something here. And yeah, this makes me think even more that this guy is probably the fencer now that this boss has arrived here. Everybody's here. Bloody hell. The whole bloody cast. Like, I don't know what looks so funny. Is it the eyes? Like, something looks so funny about that fucking line. It looks like weirdly kind of slightly human. Why does it look like that? I was right. We really just addressed each other by our full names like this. I guess it is Japan, isn't it? Is it Japan? I don't really know. It feels quite American, actually. So yeah, I was right. I mean, it's just one of those things, isn't it? That you can kind of feel where it's going. Because you wouldn't expect the thing he said about that guy. You wouldn't expect him to be upbeat, big live streamer, would you? So of course he would be big, upbeat live streamer. One of those type deals. Yeah, pretty active, fun episodes there. I had fun with this one. It was cheesy. It was cheesy, but I mentioned earlier about my love for like horror games and movies and such. I love a bit of cheese. I love a good bit of cheese. A lot of confrontation this episode as well, which is pretty awesome. This guy just absolutely just trying to buy her off the whole episode. Take my money. That was a lot of money. If I was her, I would have accepted it, but I wouldn't have changed my mind. But then she'd probably feel a bit guilty taking the money and not forgiving him, so yeah. Yeah, I had a ton of fun this episode. It was a really fun episode, wasn't it? Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. We'll just recap it quickly. Yeah, really awesome seeing him kind of do his best, I guess, to try and make up for it. I don't know. My first thought wouldn't have gone to, oh, I made a lot of money off that stream, so you know what? I'll give all the money I made off hating her game to her. It's just like, in essence, you're giving the hate that you made back to the person you sent it to. Like, I worded that horribly, but you get what I'm saying. Like that wouldn't be my first thing to do. Like that would be, and if that happened to me, that would be like, yeah, you know what, you're just a piece of shit. So I'm not even going to try and forgive you anymore. Trying to pay me off like that. I do appreciate that he did go to lengths to. I forget the name of the website, but he did try and get this thing sorted out with the reviews. I think that's probably the biggest thing he could do, get the reviews sorted out, take away all those bullshit reviews that didn't actually even play the game. It'd be hard to monitor which ones did and which ones didn't. If they don't track who's actually played it, that's why there should have been that rule. As I said, if you haven't bought the game, you shouldn't be able to review it. That's just a company issue, to be honest with you. But yeah, lots of fun here. Talking about the dating, but some weird conversations. Like I said, some really cheesy stuff. Like, are you asexual? No, I like men. It's just like, is that a conversation you have with people like that? I feel like you would just skip to, do you like men or do you like women, or like, I don't know. A few of these discussions did, again, just felt really cheesily written. Like you wouldn't ever hear them in real life, but in a fun kind of way. I think I had a lot of fun with it. I think if you don't take things like this too seriously, you will have more fun with it. If you critically analyze every point as a negative, again, if you watch a lot of like B horror movies, you'd be like, every B horror movie is just an absolute pile of shit. If you think like that, but to enjoy them, you got to roll with it a little bit. And yeah, that honestly, almost the whole second half of this episode was a bit of a meme, wasn't it? In the best way possible. We had the lion here that absolutely got me. Like, what about this lion is so fucking funny? What Is it the eyes? I feel like it's the eyes because everything else looks normal. If I put my finger in front, I guess the mouth kind of looks slightly like everything looks fine about this line, but just something so cheesy about its eyes. I think he's got the same eyes as Link. Maybe that's it because they've got like the same eyes. I don't know what it is. It just looks so fucking funny. But yeah, quite a big moment at the end here. It was honestly kind of anticlimactic how they started out this episode with him just like with our main character just leaving, but very quickly picked up, didn't it? I was a bit taken aback by that initially, but yeah, going to be quite a bit of chaos next episode as well, I'm assuming, unless everybody just leaves like we like we saw at the start of this one. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section. Again, a lot of fun today. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with these weekly reactions though. And I'll see you next week with episode 5.